Hey everyone, it's Char from Char's Fashion Nation. Let's try to get my thread off of this fabric. Anyway, y'all know I'm sewing for a friend. Okay, y'all know I'm sewing for Jessica, or just Jessica, which I will leave her link in the description box below. Now, I hadn't been feeling too well. No, I was not sick with a cold or flu. No. Wait, isn't that why we have like every cold and flu season? Like we have medicine for that over the counter. Just like, yeah. Okay, don't mind my forehead. I'm still letting the Botox injection site still like calm down. But look, the 11s are almost gone, except for that one. There's one left out of the 11s. Dumb nerdy thing. Anyway, so I am working on Butterick 7461. It is a vintage pattern. I got this from Viv, a Viv Mom Sews. Now, I am going to alter this. Trust me, Viv alters stuff too. The collar on this can be a little issue sometimes. So what I do have here is I already have the collar pieces cut out, but I also have extra pieces to make into collar. You would think this would be like for right here for the sleeve. No, it's actually not. That is for the collar. Yes, I took a shower. I'd have to be crazy not to, especially after my shots. Right. So now, like, the first thing that we want to do is make sure that this is lined up, and it is. Now, for this part of it, I don't need my sewing clips. Now, what I do need to do, right over here, my friend, is, yeah, and you know what? I hope y'all can get a better view of this now since I've switched up how I have everything. So, going to check how much we have left on this bobbin. You know what? We might have enough, just enough for sewing this part together. Now, I keep these. These are my favorite scissors. Right? You guys know I love these. I did get this with my pinking shears, and what I haven't been able to find lately, they're mysteriously floating around here somewhere. I had them over here, and now they're like not there. I'm thinking lately, like, where did they go? Now, I know that Jessica loves when I do Spoopy story time. Now, just in case Rob doesn't feel up to doing Supernatural Saturday, this is the story. So, Jessica, you get to watch me sew, and you also get a Spoopy story time. It's a win-win situation for the bride. There you go. It's a win-win situation for the bride. So, remember, everybody, go show her some love over on her channel. Tell her congratulations, because she is so sweet. Now, when I am done sewing the skirt, I will heat up my, I will set up to iron. Because my iron gets hot fast, so it doesn't take me too long to set that up. So let me get my foot pedal where it's comfortable for me. Lucky for me, right? Lucky for me that when I sit a certain way in my chair, I can have my foot up on like the leg part. There's my pinking shears. Is that weird or what? I asked for them and they return. Ask and you shall receive, my friend. So if I sit my foot a certain way here, all I have to do is use my toes to push the pedal and sew. So that's actually like good for my health, you know. So get that back where I really want it, back in my comfy zone. Otherwise, that ain't gonna be comfortable, right? So we're minutes in. We have to rework that. Aha, got it. So, reverse and continue forward. Okay, so a lot of people back when like the garment industry first started, you know, there were a lot of people trying to start out and everything. And trying to make their dollar here and there, right? So it's like there was a lot of like vicious competition between people trying to start out, which is pretty sad. It's not like they can just like work together, do some stuff. No, it's not like today how people collab with stuff. Companies actually used to do that. Some still do, but not all. Now, I will check this periodically because I will have to change out the, and I'm using the serger stitch, otherwise known as overlock. Don't forget that the Singer Heavy Duty 4452 does have that stitch. Now, if you're not like me and you need to go ahead and use the pins or the clips, go ahead, clip it on, pin it, do whatever is comfortable for you. And remember, I've been sewing since I was a kid, so I know a lot of these stories. I think it's about time to change that up. Something weird is going on. Yep, time to change it out. So while we're changing that out, we will continue with our story. Because look, there was almost enough there to finish that. Oh, there's a weird thread there, but oh well. Like I was saying, you know, like back in the industry, no, there was still thread on there. Why does it do that sometimes? I'm just going to go ahead and change this one out. Sometimes when they get weird, you just have to change them and just take off the twisted thread. Ooh, that would be a good garment shop name, Twisted Thread. Wouldn't it? Would you buy from a shop named Twisted Thread? I'll just take this bottom. Sometimes what I like to do, I don't like to waste my thread because this shit is expensive anymore. Life is expensive anymore. Like, have you ever thought about something like if the world governments ever wanted to do that stupid New World Order shit? I don't think the American governments have thought this one through. Indigenous American people are sovereign, so you can't put us in the middle of your bullshit. Thank you. And Hollywood does not speak for me. No, they don't. No, they do not. And this whole stupid charade thing going on over Roe v. Wade. A lot of y'all out there, just be lucky you're not on the genocide list like I am. I'm on the genocide list. So the government can choose to sterilize me or do other harmful things. So shut up. And I will say that. Like, y'all out there bitching, shut up. You don't know what it's like to be on that list. And it's scary. So, anyway, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just y'all don't understand culture that is put on the list to have that happen. And stop following those Hollywood idiots. Like, good lord. Brainless bitches. Anyway, I'm not trying to sound mean towards the common person, but can people start learning to think for themselves? Anyway, that's not why we're here. Let's get back to sewing and a Spoopy story. So we have to clean up our threads as well. So, like I was saying, in the beginning of the garment industry, a lot of people were struggling as much as we do now, okay? A lot of people just did not get the fuck along, which they should, of course. And that's really, like, super sad and everything, because everybody could have just, like, got the freak along. So, there's this little unknown seamstress, right? Unknown, because nobody pays attention. And that seamstress, she just did amazing work, right? And a lot of times back there, some of the seamstresses were male, some were female, some of them were in the tailoring industry, much like, I'm going to say much like Men's Warehouse. Oh, they have some fabulous tailors there. I don't care those guys are gay. They are like, heck yeah, like they deserve the money that they make. I've seen them in action, like tailoring. They are amazing, right? Okay, so like I was saying, this unknown tailor, or little known, and this was in Missouri. A lot of people know about Missouri. Some people say it's the state of misery. I suppose it could be if you let it. So, back when you had the catalogs to order from, right? Some tailors or seamstresses were local, and they would put out their little paper ad, even in the local paper, right? So, one of these more high-end goes on the vacation to where this town is, where the little known person is. Fabulous seamstress made the most beautiful garments for herself and her friends and family. They never had to purchase anything but fabric and buttons and stuff. That's on the little. And so, like I was saying, a person coming to the little town. I'm almost done with this part of the skirt, which is exciting. Oh, this is exciting. You just don't know how excited I am about this. Probably tell by the look on my face. Okay. have my scissors. I don't know, did you see me put them over there? Let me know in the comments below kindly if you saw me put them over there. I put them right here, like I usually try. Usually try to remember to put them there. Anyway, so the unknown person, little known person, like, you know, had their ad and everything. And so the other person, when they came into town, had noticed this ad, right? And so they asked about the person. Let me show you the hems before I turn this inside out again and iron. Oh, isn't that nice? Look at those beautiful hemline. They're just gorgeous. They are just gorgeous. Now this is the back. This is the front. Now, normally, this would not be a dress. This would be, well, it could be a dress. This could also be a jacket. But this is also why I'm going to do this completely different so that it's more like this. Now, I did cut out the pockets, but they mysteriously disappeared. Where they went, y'all, I am not sure what the Spoopies like to do with shit around here. Anyway, back to the story and the little known person. You know, so that person was asking around, you know, like, hey, whose ad is this? Oh, I'm doing this thing on Instagram called Real or Draped. And so if you're somebody that's like true to, like, you've been with my channel, like subscribed recently, or been on my Instagram for a while, you might remember this Batman print fabric that I did last year. It was last year. Then I made into this cute dress. And that is Simplicity $11.95. Simplicity $11.95. It's actually this one right here, that pink one, but with thicker straps. And what I did was I actually gave it a sweetheart neckline. And yeah, I think it turned out super cute. In the costuming community, I was turned down. Very saddened by you people. You turned me down. So, what I'm going to do next, ooh, watch my toes, that's what I'm going to do. Pick up my fabric, because good grief. Now, I have had an issue with this pattern before, so I decided I'm going to change up a few things in the bodice portion of this because I've always had problems with it. So I have a problem with the garment because I just don't want to sit the way the instructions say it should. Trust me, you got options to change that. Don't mind me, I'm in my comfy clothes. Because I am. I'm still recovering from whatever the heck was going on. It's like my abs felt extended like a hernia or something, but it's not a hernia, thank goodness. Because it would be living with the hernia. I think everybody knows that music. Weird Al. Right? So what I've done is I've taken tank top and just put that up around my booty. So, okay. Back over here. Now, I'm not going to make this video too long. I might just like tell the story and then come back and show the garment later. Or do the sew and show part would be I'm sewing it. Jessica will show it. So it's like my part is the sew. Her part can be the show. Which I think would be kind of cool. It's almost like a collab. So yeah, okay. like I was saying, the person asked about, the little known person. And they're like, well, the person in town that doesn't really have a lot of friends and doesn't really associate with too many people, just stays at home and sews. Pretty much like myself, I stay home alone. I asked for these to come back before I did that. I'm going to seam rip and put those in later because the pockets just magically showed up when I had all this separated earlier, and the pockets were not to be found. These are the sleeves. Yes, these are the sleeves. So now I'm putting these over here like this on purpose because, first of all, I have to hem the shoulder. Here, let me also unclip this because I have the thing really weird for this part. So, like, basically, you have to have the shoulders like this, right? So, this pattern is kind of it's a good pattern. Don't get me wrong. It's a weird pattern. It is weird. I will say that much. But it is a good pattern. And if you've seen me put the pink garment together before, one with the pearls, it's the same pattern. So, anyway, so getting back to the story before we end this. So, well, do you know where this person lives? Like, not really. Don't associate with the person, so maybe you'll find them around when they need to buy something. So, just happened to be one of the family members needed to come in and get, some fabric and stuff, order some fabrics. And so the stranger asked, like, hey, not to bother you or anything, but are you ordering for, and they're like, yeah, of course. Like, they make my clothes all the time. Like, really? Because some of these companies would try to buy out people's, like, original designs. Trust me, I know this personally. It's not fun. My show was stolen by Revlon. That's why I don't buy Revlon. If you actually don't know this, Revlon has designers, so for clothing. So anyway, now that we have this, right, there's that. Now, basically what you're supposed to do is sew all the other stuff together and then the sleeve. To me, that sounded backwards as could be, right? So I'm thinking to myself, why not just go ahead and apply this? Like, because I'm going to have to press the hem open like this before I go and do that, but it will be easier. Those pockets, though, like, what in the world? So, okay, so the person's like, yeah, do you need something tailored hemmed? Do you need some services? And they're like, oh, sure, yeah, I do. Let me go get my stuff. Or you can just take me to him so I can speak to him. Oh, no. It's more like the eyes. The eyes. The hills have eyes. I've never watched that movie. I think some of these movies these days are like, they're not like real horror movies. They really aren't. See how easy that is with this? You're not struggling with the pen. You're just pick it off. Sew away. You're like so fantabulously sewing with that you don't even have to worry. And I keep my foot sometimes hovered above the pedal. I need to straighten this because this does not seem straightened. Now, remember, sometimes you have to straighten out your fabric. So, okay, getting back into that. Okay, so they took the person to basically the eyes have hills. The eyes have hills. The eyes have hills. The hills have eyes. And here is like this spoopy weird part of this, right? There was no actual person. You heard that, right? There was no actual person. So everybody had to make up the story, right? So you would put your fabric and stuff in the room with the machine and whatever was in there. I'm going to say whatever because nobody really knew whatever it was. As long as they were nice to it, it did not kill. Okay? Did not kill. No, you want to keep breathing. Serious. Do you want to stay breathing? So, like, I've been trying forever to figure out, like, this one section of this pattern. Like, they have it in a certain way, and then they showed this part kind of, like, bent or something, like it's a collar piece, which is fine. I don't mind that, but just try not to make your patterns difficult. Just please, because you know why? That makes it easier for the seamstress. So anyway, like I was saying, they had an old sewing machine in there. Well, what would be old to us, but to them, back then it was new. I think I figured it out. Yes. Yes, I figured it out. Like, oh my God, I'm proud of myself. I finally figured this part of the pattern out. I think. Because there's always like this one weird part of this pattern. Let's remember that. Okay, this video has been too long, so would you go into a town where things aren't as they seem, so to speak, and ask about the local seamstress, little known, because nobody sees the person. And here's the thing. The sewing machine belonged to one of their dead relatives, right? Because that person, like, before they left the town to go to the person's house, they passed by the cemetery, and there was a symbol of a pair of, like, scissors and a needle, like a sewing machine, a cross like this with a spool of thread, like a common spool of thread. And person's like, you know, hey, what's up with that? That's an interesting headstone. They're like, oh, that was a relative that passed away. But their sewing machine is sitting in this room that where if you magically put your stuff in there and you handed them the style of the garment, magically it's like you hear the old sewing machine going. Like that kind of noise. because that noise is not common with like the Singer Heavy Duty 4452 or even the Sears Kenmore, which I have over here, which is kind of a catch-all at the moment, but I gotta clean that one up. And you know, my Sears doesn't make that, but I'll tell you what does. An old Singer Trundle machine, one of those ones that you literally had to crank. See, I'm not talking about the one with like the foot pedal thing that goes like that. I'm talking about the one that you had to crank. That one kind of has this. So does the other one that goes like this, but they had that one that, you know, you had to. But what would you think? Would you want to go into a town where the little known seamstress happens to be dead, and would you wear anything that they thread? Leave that down kindly in the comments below. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. I'll show you the finished product as soon as I get it done. And stay spoopy and so on. And I will see you in the next one.